and welcome to the Polk Pioneer Oral History Program, a collaboration between the Polk County Historical Association's Heritage Partners, the Polk County History Center, and Polk Government TV. I'm Jennifer Bush, and I'm a board member of the Polk County Historical Association. Thank you for joining us today as I have the pleasure of interviewing Mrs. Earnestine Mason Davis, who has been nominated for Polk Pioneer recognition by the Leicester African American Museum in Bartow. First of all, let me say, Mrs. Davis, congratulations.
Thank you.
And thank you for being willing to just sit down and chat and share some of your life stories. I know you've been a Polk County resident for more than 80 years, and it's been said that you exemplify what it is to be a labor of love in the community. So today, I want to hear some of these stories about your community work, and I want you to share some of that love with us.
Well, I give you what I can remember.
Well, let's go back to the beginning. Let's start with your childhood. Now, I know you've been here for more than 80 years, but where were you born?
I was born in Cordell, Georgia.
And that was 1940?
Yes, 1940.
1940 in Cordell, Georgia.
Yes.
What brought your family to Florida?
Well, they came here for work. My auntie, she was working here on premises. So she came back to Georgia and got my mother and brought her to Florida. And so we moved on Sears Avenue. And from there, we moved on Avenue T. And then I went to school at Junior Elementary School and Flossville. And I attended Jewett High School on Avenue T. And I didn't finish the 12th grade. I went to 12th grade. I attended Polk Community College.
What were your favorite subjects? What did you excel in school? Did you like school?
Yes, I liked the school. I liked the school, and I liked my teachers. During that time, teachers wasn't young teachers. They was elders. About 60 or 70 years old. Those was the teachers that I had. Yes. So I liked that school, but for some reason, looked like it just wasn't for me to graduate and do this and that, because I think he had this mission for me. When I was a little girl, my mother worked for Mrs. Kronberger. She was the postmaster in Flossville on Avenue T. So I think about my sister and I, Betty and I was like, I guess, about 7 or 8. Anyway, we were small, and Mrs. Kronberger, my mother was working for Mrs. Kronberger, and so she would invite us to lunch. And she was a white lady, and all that long Avenue T was white. All that, the whole subdivision on Avenue T on the right was white. And so she had 2 boys. And so we would eat lunch with them, okay? And she would talk with us, and she would tell us, saying, "Now, girls, you all, it's very important. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. So you may look different from us, but you all are very important So that stayed with me. So, when I went to New Jersey, okay, it was just like, she said. So before I left, it was altogether different. But when I when I went to New Jersey, then I came back, and it was, just like she said, and it was demonstrating. So I got involved in the NAACP.
Now, about how old were you at that time?
I think I was like 23.
What took you to, why did you go to New Jersey?
Well, I had friends up there. I went up there, and I went up there to work. Yes. And then I came back, and I joined the NAACP. We started demonstrating, and so that went on for a while. So we decided, it was Morrison Cafeteria. So I was, it was Reverend Fred Leonard, and and Reverend, both of them preachers now, Reverend Milton Biggleman. They was in school. This was the one time they was out of school. So we went in the restaurant, and so that didn't work out too well. So the police, he came in and got us, and he took us to jail.
No.
Yes, he took us to jail, and so they put us in jail, and now the jailhouse is our water bill place. Yeah, so that's what we pay the water bill now.
And that was the jail?
Yeah. So after that, then we kept demonstrating.
How long were you in jail?
Excuse me?
How long were you in jail?
Oh, we stayed in there about an hour or two. We wasn't in there general time. So they came in, got us, and so but before then, let me back up. We was demonstrating, and so they handled grocery. So the Reverend Atkins and Miss Mill, Mr. Hanley called and asked for, he wanted a black cashier. Okay. So at that time, I was the older person that was demonstrating, that really didn't have a regular job. So they called me like about 5 o'clock in the morning. That's what time he called them. So I guess he called them about 4:30. Anyway, he called me about 5 and asked me about would I be interested in being, the first black cashier. And I said, what? And he said, yes. Well, Earnestine, we believe that we can trust you, said, because you're going to be involved in money. Okay? So I said, well, let me think about it. Call me back later. I said, you all know what time it is? And they said, yeah. I said, girl, you wake up. And so I said, well, I said, I have to think, don't just say yes. So I thought about it. And so I called him, I said, yes, I'll take the job. And so,
he specifically asked you to come work for him.
No, he told the Reverend Atkins that he wanted a black cashier.
Okay.
Okay. So they called him and Mrs. Anthony Mills. They was on the phone, you be on two-way, So they asked me, about being first black cashier. I said, now, listen, you know that you're going to be the first black cashier in Polk County, and you can't bother those folks with money. Okay? He said, now, you is got to set the example for the other. So now, if you go in there and mess up, they're not going to hire any black cashiers. Understand me? In a long, long time, he said. So I said, well, no, I know better than that. So anyway.
There was a lot of weight on your shoulders. There was a lot of, all the eyes were on you.
Everything. I was like, they came far and near to see me, And so they were just, he had good business. He had good business. If someone wasn't buying, they just come to see, white and black. So anyway, and what happened, the first day I was off, that's why I say to back up, I went to demonstrate, and that's when I got put in jail.
So that's what you were working at that grocery store.
Yes.
On your day off.
Yes.
You went back to demonstrating.
Yes.
And that's when you ended up in jail.
Yes.
Well, what happened at the store after that? I mean, did that cause any problem for you at the store?
No. When I got out, anyway. So he met me. He said when I walked in, he said, Ernestine, I was just waiting till 8 o'clock come. He said, because they told me you didn't have any money to get out of jail. They done called them already and told them I was in jail, and a whole lot went on. So I said, they did? He said, yeah. He said, they called for your job. He said, they called for your job. I called him a job. He said, yeah, so you'd be surprised. I said, oh, well, I won't really be surprised. He said, well, I was going to come get you. That's what he told me. He said, I was going to come get you, Ernestine. I said, okay. I said, well, thank you. So anyway.
And you were so young. I mean, was this around the early 20s?
Yeah, I was like, just like I said, I was like about 23, 24. Yeah. And so we was demonstrating. After that, when I was off, I demonstrated. We was Lake Silver, we was McCord's groceries, McCord's dime store downtown on Central. Okay, and so they carried Reverend Atkins to jail because he was demonstrating on for the theater. We was integrating the theater downtown. Okay, we also was integrating the McCoys. So we was working both of them. And so they carried him to jail. And so,
I mean, was your mom afraid for you? What did your mom, and was your dad in the picture at that time? I know you talked about your mom.
No. I was living alone. I was living alone. So everything was going well. Everything was going along well. And so later things started to getting better. And so and then we started meeting with the governor and different ones, And so things began to get better. And then we had meetings, and then we would go to different places and demonstrate, you know. So it went on and on.
Were you ever afraid?
No, for some reason, I wasn't afraid because, we prayed, before we would go out. We prayed to ask the Lord, to take care of us. And so he done that. And so some things, they was shooting in Reverend Atkins' house and all of that. So he had to have some protection, around him. And so it just went on. And then later we would go to Tampa to the federal court to integrate the schools. And so Mrs. Mills, she filed the lawsuit with her son Herman Mills. And so things went on from there, we just go to court there in Tampa. And we went on meetings and things got better. They started hiring blacks in schools and different jobs, and things began to open up, and things.
So you saw the community from the beginnings,
yes.
From where, before it opened up to
Yes.
everyone. I mean, you were there, part of those making the change and getting your voice heard, and
Oh, yes.
just
Yes.
that's just amazing.
And so we just traveled, going to meetings all over all over the United States, not all over the United States, but, all the time. But every month we was going somewhere. Yeah. Yep.
Now, did you say that you had brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I had brothers and sisters.
What size was your family? How many brothers and sisters did you have?
I had I have two brothers. I have two brothers, and I have 4 sisters.
4 sisters and 2 brothers. That's a large family.
Mm-hmm.
Did any of your siblings get involved with any of the work that you were doing in the community?
Oh, no.
No.
Nobody got involved.
You just you just took the torch and just led it.
Oh, yeah. I was just, that seems to be my mission work. This seemed to be my mission work. And I love people and doing things for people, So that just part of me, So and they asked me, say, how can you do that? I said, well, the Lord give me strength. And I pray and keep going on because I love people. Yeah.
Well, it's from your work in the community, from everything you've been involved in. It's very clear that you do have a heart for people. I mean, this is your passion, and it's like you said, it's God has given you this mission, and you've walked in His steps.
Oh yes, that's why I tell them, I said, well, I just keep stepping.
Keep moving forward.
Oh yeah, that's what I do.
Well, now talking about church, what church did you go to? Let's see.
The church that I attend now is Friendship Missionary Baptist Church.
But then you were also, let's see, at First Missionary Baptist Church.
I was raised in First Missionary Baptist Church. Yes.
So
that's my home church. Yeah, that's where I was raised in, and sung in the choir and all of that.
Well, I was going to ask, did you have, were you involved with your church women's ministry, or did?
Oh yes, I was part of that. I was part of the youth department. I always loved children, So I was the part of the youth department. I was over that for years, the youth department at First Missionary Baptist Church. And also I was a part of the junior women's. We had junior women's, and so I was a part of that. We would do things, in the community for the elders and all. So.
Well, I know you have a love for children because you have a number of children, right?
Yes.
You have, let's see, how many?
5.
5.
1 deceased. Yeah, 1 deceased.
What was that like raising all those kids?
Oh, well, we had fun, Yeah.
What share what were some of your memories or a day in the life with you and the kids?
Well, we my mother, Charles, he was small, and so she always had him. But the others and Greg, his grandmother, she had him, and so the others, we had a lot of fun. I traveled with them, carried them. Oh, well, they thought, I think they thought I had plenty of money. Okay, so we, when the summer come after school, they, what I'm saying, during the summer, with school, it's closed for the summer. They thought they were supposed to go on vacation. Okay. Yes, they're supposed to. Yeah, they're supposed to go. Well, Mama, where we going on vacation? I said, vacation? Yeah, we go on vacation, So, okay, we go on vacation. It was, not much of a vacation, but we were going on vacation. And so they was... So they was happy. They was always happy. I always carried them somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Lord blessed me where I could take them somewhere all the time.
You didn't have to have a lot of money to have a good time and have good family time,
see,
right?
That's right, because I had a little cooker, a little of this, and so we stayed, like we stay in the hotels or whatever, and so I would fix our food and all the things, we go, in the swimming pool, wherever wherever we go, or to the lake, the ocean. And so we just had a good time. You really didn't know we was poor, really. They didn't know they was poor. I knew they was poor. You understand me?
maybe poor, but rich in memories and rich in experiences.
Yes. We had plenty, but I'm just speaking of, we, didn't really have a whole lot and all of this, but we done very well in life. We was really, really blessed.
Well, I meant to ask you about your husband. Now, he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
But tell me about, kind of go back in time. How did you meet your husband?
Well, I met him.
And Wesley. Wesley is your husband's name?
Yes.
Wesley Davis. How did y'all meet?
Well, where was that? A girlfriend of mine, she told me she wanted me to meet this friend, Mrs. Marilyn McCabe. And so that's how I met Mr. Wesley.
Was it love at first sight? Was it love at first sight?
Well, not really. Not really, It took a little while. Yeah, not really, but he was a nice guy. And so he asked me later about getting married. And I said, so I did. And so things worked out well. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, so you were married and you had your children and you were involved in your in your community in so many different ways. I was looking at the list of some of the your the work you did, like we were talking earlier about being the cashier at the Henley grocery store. How long did you work there?
I think I worked there. Might have stayed there a couple of years. I stayed there so long enough for things to open up where they had other cashiers and things,
So how did you end up working for the Bird's Eye Juice Company?
Oh, yeah. My girlfriend, I was making more money. See, I was making more money, and I needed it because, they like to go on vacation, and, they like that. You're not supposed to have plenty of money, so, I was supposed to take them on vacation and things, so you know how that go. So
you had to get some extra jobs so you could take your kids on vacation wherever they wanted to go.
Yeah, they wasn't no special place they wouldn't go. They just want to go on vacation and see, they like to swim or whatever they call swimming and all, that's what they like. And the other kids, family, was doing different things and what have you. But I couldn't do a lot what other folks was doing, but I done enough to satisfy them. I done enough to satisfy them.
So how'd you get your job at Bird's Eye?
How did I get? Well, somebody recommended me, and I put in an application, and so the supervisor, she liked it me, very well. We got along very well. So,
what was your job? What did you do?
I was a sectionizer, and I done very well. Yeah, that's what I done. I was a sectionizer, and so I worked around. All the one I worked around everybody was white. Everybody was white, and so I got along with them fine. We all was good friends and everything. So everything worked out very well.
You became a leader and a role model wherever you went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what, he placed me here, and he placed me there, just to, I think, to open things up, so that, and so wherever, he would, they didn't understand. I really didn't understand it myself. But anyway, wherever he would tell me to go, that's where I would go. So that was just my life.
You just, when God called, you said yes.
Yeah, I listen. It takes me a little time. He comes back now. When he tells me something, he don't let me forget it. He come back. He say, he tell me, say, he did go. He would tell me, say, you need to go see Miss so and so and so. I said to him, I said, Lord, I don't know her. And so he said, you need to go see her. Okay. So I go see her. So I'm not going to say what to take place, but when I get there, that's what he put me there for. And I said, oh, okay, this is where he set me for. Okay, so that's it. He not set me on some mission, so you go. And that's what I do. Mm-hmm. I would go, but I kind of, I talked to him, and He come back and tell me and say he want me to go, so that's where I go.
So you're saying sometimes you try to talk God out of it, and the Lord said, "Oh no, you're going."
You don't be thinking it's him, but anyway, that's what he tell you. He said to go, so he not going to, leave you. He just tell you to go and what to do, and that's what you do.
And that sounds like that's been your life direction. You've taken it from the master.
Yeah.
So when God said to go help cook at Meals on Wheels, did I have that right in my notes here? Yes, you were involved with Meals on. What was your role there?
That why I was a cook. I was a cook at Meals. I was. Oh Lord have mercy. They needed a cook. They were just getting organized. Really. There was does you have on there which church it was?
Well, I was going to ask you, was that Winter Haven or was that Bonte?
Winter Haven.
That was Winter Haven. Winter Haven.
It was they was just getting organized.
So how did your name end up going in that?
I don't know. Just like I told you, he sent me here and he sent me there. And that's how I ended up the Meals on Wheels. And they was just organizing it. Just getting organized in the church. They serve, the meals. This, still Meals on Wheels now.
And how long did you do that?
Ooh, I guess maybe about 2 years, maybe something. I stayed there long enough to get it organized and things going well and everything. And then I guess it was time for me to move on to somewhere else.
Yeah, you kind of get in there, you with your leadership, you get the program going.
Yeah.
And then others fall into place and take over, and that allows you to move into the next door that's opened up for you to walk through.
That's what I done.
Let's see what else I've got. I mean, it's just like the list here goes on, on and on. You were a crossing guard?
Yes.
Is that true? Okay. So somebody called you and said, "Will you do this?" And you said,
somebody told me, said, "Well, you going by the crossing guard." Said, "Well, you need it'd be nice, you get an extra little change to be a crossing guard." So here I go.
And let's see. I had here a home visitor for Polk County.
Excuse me.
Okay, so what did that entail?
Okay, they didn't tell the kids get ill at school, and I would take them home, and they have the parents don't wash their hair well, and they have things, what you call them?
Lice, head lice.
And so that's what I done. And when they, they didn't come to school, so that's.
And then I also have on here that you were a nurse assistant for one of the local agencies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I will go wherever he put me.
Obviously. I mean, I was going to ask, what has been your motivation? But I think you've explained that.
That's my mission work. That's all it was. Just my mission work. I just was doing my mission work. Wherever he would send me, that's where I would go.
Mm-hmm.
And so I enjoyed it, and the ones that I was waiting on, they enjoyed me too. And some of them, they didn't want me to, we had to change shifts, and so they didn't want me to change shifts. I said, well, the other lady need to work. I said, no, I can't do that, man. Y'all get me in trouble. I can't do that. So Earnestine said, no. I said, no, ma'am, no. I can't do that. you know.
You've got to let somebody else get in there.
You know, somebody else. They need to work.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
No, some people do that, but I couldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wasn't sitting there for that, so I just that just wasn't part of me, you know.
Well, I mean,
not to do that.
Looking back, it's like you said, with your life spanning so many years and seeing the changes that have happened in the communities.
Oh, yes.
Changes in organizations, changes in, everything from the political aspects of it into the home life aspects of life. I mean, just share some of your thoughts on what you've seen. I mean, just the changes you've seen over these years.
Well, it been a lot of changes. It still could be much better, but we have came a long ways. Yeah, we really have been blessed. You know, we came a long ways. We have. So we have been blessed. I've been blessed. And so, but I don't take that for granted. You know, I just, take it as a blessing.
Is there anything that I haven't asked you about that that you wanted to share? Any stories that we just haven't talked about? I don't want to forget anything. Somebody said something about, did you meet Bill Clinton or meet with Bill Clinton? What?
Oh, yeah, I have a picture of him.
Okay, tell me about that.
Yeah, well, Lori Edwards we are friends. And so Joe Tedder is a friend. I work for those in the campaign. And so Lori said, Earnestine, Bill, and I was a friend to Tom Mims. And so I think they had some, so they said, we'd like for you to go meet, Bill Clinton. And I said, oh, okay. I said, because we was and while we was in the civil rights movement, we would be with Governor Childs. Still, we was friends, Governor Childs, through this civil rights movement, and we was good friends with him, Governor Graham. So that's how you get to meet, different ones, And so, and then it moved on, and then, like I said, I worked for Laura Edwards, and so she called me and invited me to go to Orlando with them, and so I did, and so I met him at the college over there in Orlando. Yeah, so that's where we was.
What an opportunity. And one other thing that I mentioned, I said earlier, I had seen you on video when you received a proclamation from the city of Winter Haven.
Yes.
For all of your community work.
Yes.
And that was from Mayor Birdsong. So, and once again, in listing out all the different community endeavors and activism and the efforts you've made to give back and help others, it just the list goes on and on.
Oh, yeah.
So
really, the list goes on and on and on.
And it's not stopping, is it?
No. As long as he tell me what to do, I just keep moving. Yeah. As long as he tells me, tell me what to do, I keep moving. And so we have a breakfast program. Yeah, we have a breakfast program. It's very nice, So we have enjoyed serving folks. So that's what life is all about, helping each other, Yep. Because, I came a long ways myself. I haven't done any suffering or anything, but he just took care of me. You understand me? Without having a nice job and all of that, but he just kept blessing me. He kept blessing me. And so he tells me, things what to do, and that's what I do. And the children sometimes, they don't understand, but that's what, it's not just something I want to do. It's something he told me to do. So I don't. So he has a certain time that he wants me to do different things. But see, they don't see, they don't understand that. They don't know, what's be going on. But they can say I just keep stepping, So that's what I have to do. So, and I tell you one thing, I'm my age. If I don't move, I won't move. You understand me?
Oh, yes, that's a lesson for all of us.
Okay.
So, Mrs. Davis, just let me once again thank you so much for being willing to come out and sit down and share some of your life stories. It's the list of your involvement in the community and the changes that you've made, the impact you've had is just incredible. It goes on and on. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for sharing with us today.
Well, you're welcome.
Well, thanks again for joining this session of the Polk Pioneer Oral History Program. I hope you'll check out more of our Polk Pioneer videos as we document these life stories in order to preserve and promote the wonderful history of Polk County.